Welcome back, everybody. Today's the big day, December 3rd. The SEC meets today. A lot of speculation about hearing some news about XRP in the crypto space that could unlock the log jam that has been in place, which is the lack of regulatory clarity specifically from the SEC. And we're also going to talk about another part of the Brad Garlinghouse, Julia Chatterley interview, which is amazing. Let's just go ahead and roll this because we could have a $10 or $20 XRP next month. Roll that beautiful intro.
This is Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Subscribe for new content notifications. Now, here's Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow me on Twitter at BackupBradleyAbove at the top of the screen and everything that we're talking about here today. Let's go ahead and get started with this from Michael Val. 5 links this morning. The premiums for Grayscale shares are running high, indicating strong retail demand. The leading incentive for institutional funds in Grayscale's Bitcoin Trust GBTC is arbitrage trading. Now, I find this interesting because, you see a lot of people seeing the market move so much, they're literally in there just basically scalping the market is what we're talking about here, right? The ability to make some short-term money on the volatility, right? But however, long-term, Bitcoin is really being seen as a hedge at this point, right? So it's pretty interesting seeing that, and the money is pouring in, and it's not going to stop anytime soon. In a tweet published on November 30th, Glassnode Chief Technology Officer Raphael Schultz Kraft predicted that the next global top for Bitcoin would fall between $133,000 and $590,000 per Bitcoin. Man, do I wish I had about 1,000 of these things. Yeah. Looking at price really quickly right now for XRP this morning, we are 62 cents and we have been holding strong. And according to XRP analysts out here on price, that is proving to be a good thing for all of us because they're saying that XRP may hit $10 to $20 by next month. Yeah, let's take a look at it because it's Crypto Bull, and we like Crypto Bull and the TA work he does. And we will look here and we will talk about the fact that here's the chart that he's looking at that showed us how we got to where we were right now. And it basically, the Bitcoin Bull escorted escorted the whole crypto space towards the bullish trend, including XRP. The XRP price also surged to about 70 plus cents at the present, attempting to break out the channel within which it's trending post the plunge. And then it says the market sentiments are extremely bullish. XRP prices, many believe the price may hit $1 very soon, which a lot of people are calling for that. Crypto Bull is predicted the price may touch $10 to $20 by next month, January 2021. And later in 2021, the price may hit even $100. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I have no problems with $100 XRP, all right? And I personally am here for 4 and 5 digits. But a 3-digit XRP will just consider that moon, right? I mean, that's just amazing. So, yeah, I would be very happy with that. That is for sure. The reason the analyst thinks $1 XRP price is imminent, the XRP charts and previous fractals, social, economic, monetary circumstances, unprecedented exposure of demand for fixed assets. However, the crypto masses are a little skeptical as the XRP chart needs to possess a similar fractal during the previous bull rally to hit the target. Well, I agree with all of those things. And one of the things we're going to talk about here in just a second is the social, economic, and monetary circumstances around the world, as well as in the U.S. So we have this interview here. It's another part from Brad Garlinghouse and Julia Chatterley. And this comes from Flare Network. Shout out to Hugo and the whole crew. And, listen, I don't think there's anybody out here in mainstream media doing the level of interview that Julia Chatterley is. She absolutely crushes this interview, which is more like a great conversation. So without further ado, let me roll this. I'm going to play it in its entirety. You should hear every bit of it. If I need to interject on something, I will. But more importantly, there is something we need to point to after that can be catalyst for all of this to be resolved. And we are going to talk about SEC and that December 3rd meeting after this is done. So let's go ahead and get that playing right now. Here we go.
I want to hone in on the evolution of what I see going on at Ripple, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. We've seen some management changes, but I also see sort of the building of a facility that plugs directly into exchanges, sourcing liquidity, rebalancing payment flows globally. Am I sort of on the right track?
Yeah, absolutely. We made a series of changes over the course of the summer, partly because I had a lot of direct reports to get the company more focused around what we're doing with RippleNet, but also what we're doing across other XRP dynamics. We call a team called RippleX. And so we simplified the management team a bit. And to your point, our vision really is, how do we make this plug and play and as simple as possible to plug in and take advantage of global liquidity across the XRP ecosystem? It is so clear to me more than ever that XRP's speed, its scalability, its incredibly low cost per transaction dynamics make it perfectly suited for the problem we are solving with it. And again, we're seeing that the community behind XRP, the other use cases, we're seeing that grow every week.
Are you open to using other digital assets though, even stable coins, other stable coins to facilitate the rebalances?
I mean, the short answer is yes. Stable coins are a little bit different and unique because even if you have a stable coin that is dollar denominated, well, you still have that cross currency problem. And so we also, though, did design our products to be efficient such that if we entered a market where XRP had very little liquidity, that we could use a different digital asset where there might be more liquidity. The spreads would be tighter. We haven't yet found a need to do that. But certainly when we think about solving a customer problem, we do want to put the customer first. And if we found there was a market somewhere on the globe where the efficiency between XRP and that fiat currency weren't a tight spread, we might look at using a different digital asset.
Yeah, it's all about efficiency.
But luckily, as I
100%.
said, we haven't needed to do that because XRP has been so efficient.
And of course, greater liquidity narrows that spread. So the whole thing is sort of cyclical and self-serving. If you can boost liquidity, you reduce that margin anyway. You're also offering a line of credit program to customers, I've seen as well. The hope is that they can therefore deploy capital anywhere in the world. Who's the ideal customer and how do you see this working? Because it seems like you can sign up for this line of credit, get access to this incredibly quickly.
Yeah, that is exactly the vision behind this. We want to help our customers grow more quickly. And there's a lot of our customers that are, smaller than the MoneyGrams or Asimovs of the world. We have some very large customers. We have some customers that, frankly, might serve one corridor in one country. And what we found is that they need working capital to expand. One of the problems of this 50-year-old payment system that we all count as our infrastructure today is that you have to pre-fund accounts in that other currency, and you're holding that other currency. What we allow customers to do is to not pre-fund, and by using line of credit, they can actually pay us 30 days later for payments they're already doing. That allows them to grow more quickly. Our customers have loved it, and really it came from just listening to our customers and hearing our customers, the demand they had of what they wanted to see to help them grow.
You mentioned the magic word there, which was MoneyGram, and I wanted to ask you about that. You just this week sold a stake or a piece of the stake in MoneyGram for a tidy profit. And I do remember the accusations in the beginning that you overpaid for the interest in MoneyGram just to have them use the name, which is an interesting point too. What's going on here? Is this just a bit of profit taking?
We are still a significant shareholder in MoneyGram, and I expect we will be for an extended period of time. This was simply a recognition that we didn't need to own the percentage of the company we did own. We owned about 12 million shares, which was north of 15% of the company when you on a fully diluted basis. And we simply looked at it as, do we need to own that percentage if we were to reduce, given how well MoneyGram has done, given how well the partnership has gone, that we felt like we're going to reduce that a small amount. And so we're selling about 4 million shares and announced that publicly, I think, just last week.
I heard a rumor as well that Western Union, obviously big competitor, has realized how steep the competition here and has signed up as a customer. Any truth to that rumor, Brad?
Go, Julia.
We are very cautious about, we talk about our customers when they're ready to talk about it. There's lots of rumors out there about, various customers Ripple has been working with. Some of them are true, some of them are not true. And so I'm gonna dodge that question. Not very effectively.
I can see you doing that, but that's not a no. I know.
That's very important. And Julia's a smart lady. That is not a no.
Notice, and I'm noting that down. Ask about that next time.
And let's talk about this for a second, because if that should happen to be true, and Western Union is now a customer or partner with Ripple in preparing to use XRP in the same manner that MoneyGram is, oh, you better look out. Because this is what I've been waiting for. One of the many things that I've been waiting for is a moment like this. Because if you see Western Union and MoneyGram, both remittance companies, begin to compete and offer the same services using the same asset in ODL and XRP back end to settle these payments and these transactions that are happening globally in the same corridors, you will see the beginning of the flywheel effect, where you will see a constant perpetual motion driving the price, because we are at an inflection point in the market at that point where use case utility becomes the price driver. And that's something I think we've all been waiting for. Let's keep going.
Talk to me about Flare Networks. How should XRP holders, customers of Ripple and the platform view what you're doing here?
Well, in this case, it's not so much about what our customers, this is a very exciting startup called Flare Networks. They're doing some very interesting stuff with something called the Spark Token, but it is really distinct from what Ripple is doing. And to me, it's just a further example of people's recognition that XRP is such an efficient digital asset. And as you and I've talked about, utility will drive the long-term value of any digital asset. Seeing a company like Flare Networks and seeing them use the XRP network in various ways, I think is an opportunity to go forward. But it doesn't affect RippleNet customers and how we are using ODL for our customers. It's largely separate from that.
Yeah, I should make the point, sorry. It is a startup, but it is Ripple funded, which is why I was sort of drawing the connection. What does it mean? What does it mean for XRP holders?
Yes.
What does it mean for XRP holders specifically?
I think XRP holders are deservedly excited about what Flare is doing. I'm excited about what Flare is doing. As we've said, anytime you're seeing real utility solving a real problem, and I think Flare has carved out an interesting niche. And I think as they move forward with this airdrop of Spark tokens, I'm optimistic for them. I've met the management team there. I think they're very talented. I think they have a clear vision of the problem they're going to solve.
And listen very carefully where this goes now, because this, I think, is the bigger implication for XRP.
Like 2 weeks to the airdrop, and as far as I saw even today, some exchanges, Coinbase, Kraken, are not participating. Why? Any concerns?
I honestly don't know. I mean, I certainly think the Flare management team is very talented, and I would defer to them on what's going on. Ripple is not part of those conversations, and so we're watching with interest, and certainly we want to be supportive and helpful, but we're letting them take the lead.
So, and are there any plans to plug RippleNet into Flare functionality? You can see where I'm leading here. These are all.
You better bet I see where she's leading, and that's the hope long term right there anyway, is the down the road is at some point Flare Network is able to build enough utility to tap into RippleNet and on-demand liquidity, bringing all of that utility from that network and the two-way bridge on and off the XRP ledger into the RippleNet ODL system. Ooh, think smart contracts, think trade finance. Come on in.
Leading questions.
Yeah, nothing I'm ready to announce today.
Oh, but that's also not a no. I'm just thinking in terms of this sort of building this new liquidity engine.
That's exactly how I see Flare Networks, is a utility and liquidity engine. That's it. I mean, she just absolutely put it over the fence.
Yeah.
There's possibility
Look, you and I
here.
have talked about, I've always kind of viewed Ripple as, Ripple is to payments as Amazon was to books, where Amazon started with just doing books. And my vision for Ripple isn't just around cross-border payments. The underlying vision really has been, how do we do things to enable an internet of value? How do we do things to enable value to move the way information moves today? And that's going to be a multi-year, maybe decade journey, where there's going to be a lot of different use cases across different transactions that aren't just about payments. Maybe it's about insurance efficiency. There's a lot of transactions out there, and the core, any efficient blockchain is allowing two parties to transact without that middle transaction. That reduces cost, that improves speed. Those are all good dynamics. I think you're going to see these technologies like the XRP ledger applied to a lot of different use cases over time.
Okay, I'm going to wrap up the interview. You have a lot going on. Fast forward 2 years.
Big question.
Where's Ripple?
Well, I hope Ripple is, right where it is geographically as a proud U.S. company.
Yes, first and foremost.
I certainly think that by that time we'll have the regulatory clarity and certainty that we have sought, that we have in countries like the UK and Japan and Singapore. But I hope we will certainly have that here in the U.S. I think you're going to see dramatic increases in volume. The growth rates we are seeing, even during this pandemic, where I think overall economic growth is more muted, we're still seeing dramatic growth on a year-on-year basis. And look, not that many years ago, people are saying, "Oh, well, it's just a small part of what Swift does." Every year at these growth rates, every year that we grow, you're seeing more and more adoption, more use cases, more customers. And so I'm very bullish and excited about what's going on at Team Ripple, and really proud of the team and what they have gotten done during this pandemic.
Just quickly before she goes to the IPO question, I want to remind people, when it comes to Swift and the example he pointed out there, is that you don't need to capture 100% of someone's market to break them and to bring them into you, or to bring you into them as an acquisition, or at least some juncture where there has to be a merger of some sort, or even beyond that. But the point is you don't need to capture 100% of the market. It could be a 10% market capture, or 5%, or even 15%. It could be anywhere in that low range that really becomes the sign of the time. And then, something like Swift may have to make that move and say, what do we need to do to bring RippleNet underneath our umbrella here? Or vice versa, one or the other, right? Here we go with the IPO question.
Will you have IPO'd?
2 years. I think the likelihood is we will. I think 2 years from now, the likelihood is Ripple would be in the public markets.
Very nice. I mean, what a great interview from Julia Chatterley. Cannot say enough about it. Just amazing questions. It's clear in a way she knows this space cold. So it's really amazing. So great stuff from her. In the next 2 years, he does anticipate Ripple being a publicly traded company. That's pretty remarkable. And the idea of RippleNet plugging into Flare Network as it builds utility and has that providing that two-way bridge on and off the ledger. Ooh, I see big things coming here. Very big things coming. So, all right. So that's really great. But what I want to point to build on all of this is that there is a meeting today, December 3rd, today, from the SEC. The minutes of that meeting and the outline of that meeting have not suggested that there will be direct conversation about XRP or cryptos. There is a financial inclusion kind of segment that may yield a conversation within that particular portion of the meeting. We have to pay attention to it to see what happens today. I'm hoping that we do get some kind of recognition for the SEC to at least acknowledge the fact that, XRP is not a security and the crypto market is free to run. I believe when you think about what this actual article talks about here, and I'll open it up just briefly, but I'm not going to read it to you. But basically going through this, it does say here and reminds people that there was a no action letter issued, that the SEC will not take any action for coin offerings. Now, to me, I don't know about to you, SEC's rare issuance of a no action letter for coin offerings. The SEC has issued 3 such letters stating it will not recommend enforcement action against platform issuing a digital currency. Now, to me, we know that the SEC is already running a validator node on the XRP ledger. So the idea of the SEC somehow being confused about whether XRP is a security or not is, how do you say in your country, bullshit, right? That's how you say it. Thank you for being here, my friend. I tell you something. But the reality here is that to me is really pretty obvious. So, this whole, we don't know where to run, we don't know where to go. Well, you knew to put a node on the XRP ledger, though, didn't you? You're not confused about that. You're not confused about the fact that NASDAQ is currently tracking in its indices the XRP price. You're not suggesting that the SEC has sat back and watched NASDAQ actually track the price feed on an unregistered security, are you? And if you are, at that point, I think we're looking at, the SEC is the entity that should have acted on that a long time ago, right? We shouldn't need to take 3 years to act on such a thing. So I that's why some of this seems like theater to me. But at the end of the day, we do need to get something from the SEC. Everyone has made that obvious. And I do believe that, whether you come from the camp like I do, that it's being withheld because they need to keep a lid on it until they're ready. And they being the governments of the world that clearly know that the XRP ledger, the ILP, which was gifted to the World Wide Web Consortium back in 2015 from Ripple. If you understand these things, and that the Interledger protocol has been gifted to the World Wide Web Consortium since 2015, and they have been building on that, and looking at it basically like a public good, like like any other protocol of the internet that we currently use, and knowing how it interfaces and allows interoperability with the ledger, and the ledger being a universal highway for moving value. It doesn't get hard to see that, to me, that all of this happening, obviously there's a lot to get straight, and there's a lot of overlapping agencies. But there is a further impending thing here that is going on, and it's outside of crypto. And it is the collapse of the global economy and the collapse of the US dollar. Now, it doesn't make me happy to report it, but I do feel that I'm happy that I understand it. And when you look at this, Mark Wilson, the chief investment officer and chief U.S. equity strategist at Morgan Stanley, told Bloomberg that he sees the U.S. dollar crashing by another 10% within the next 12 months. You understand that. I have to say to myself, I believe this withholding or not having this clarity that we know we need, which is really distinguishing XRP as a currency. We've heard Chris Giancarlo say it when he wrote the paper from Wilkie Barr. Wilkie Barr is a legal representation to Ripple. They submitted that paper that Chris Giancarlo wrote on XRP being a currency to the judge who is overseeing the lawsuit for the class action in defense of XRP being a currency and not a security. We've heard Brad Garlinghouse say it in the same Julia Chatterley interview in the first part that was released. We heard Greg Kidd acknowledge it when I interviewed him here on this channel. Former employee of Ripple and former Federal Reserve employee, and currently holding a $1 billion position or 1 billion XRP position on XRP. I have to tell you, it just seems like to me, this is a moment where I realize that when I say that they need it more than we want it, this is one of the biggest reasons why. Because we are going to see a pay-to-piper moment for all this printing. And at the very least, the chief equity strategist and investment officer from Morgan Stanley thinks so too. This is a day to keep an eye on everything. We will keep an eye on the SEC meeting to see what it yields. We will keep an eye on anything else that takes place. And I don't want to get out of here without reminding you, the Federal Reserve and FinCEN have already proposed the amendment to change the definition of money in their agencies to explicitly include convertible virtual currencies. All right, now it's over 30-day mark since they proposed that amendment, which was a 30-day public comment. So as far as I'm concerned, that's been amended. What will it mean for the meeting today, and what will it mean for those agencies now that they see virtual currencies as money? All right, hit the like and subscribe, leave a comment below. Don't forget to check out the links in the description box and the comment section for anything you may want or need. There's some incredible deals and specials in there, and they are trusted products and services that I use, and they are trusted links, more importantly. Don't just click on anything on the internet. I will catch all of you on the next one.